96.7 Lights FM.
Hey, we're Cubby and Christine from Light FM. We do the morning show there. We've got a very special guest today. 3-time Grammy winner, 12 Juno Awards, sold 40 million albums worldwide, and now her first album of new material in 10 years, Better Broken. Welcome, Sarah McLachlan.
Thanks. Hi.
Hi, so nice to see you.
Thank you. Glad to be back.
Yeah.
Now, why has it been so long since new music?
Well, life just kind of got in the way. And to be fair, I had a Christmas record in between.
True.
I was raising 2 teenage daughters. I was a full-on dance mom. I was also fundraising for my free music schools off the side of my desk. So, and I continued to tour a little bit and slowly write. But I think because I was in between labels at the time too, I need a deadline. I did not have a deadline. So, things just...
Some of your best
got
work happens
busy.
probably when there's no deadline, right? Just work at your own pace?
Well, yeah, but it just takes a long time. And I
Right.
think, honestly, I do need a little bit of a, hey, you have to get this done by a certain date.
Mm-hmm.
That does really help me. Otherwise, I just keep putting it off and procrastinating.
Right.
So how long was the process then in bringing this album to life? So to
Well, I
speak?
guess technically like 13 or 14 years, because Better Broken, that song is like 14 years old. And I actually meant to put it on my last record and didn't quite make it because we ran out of time and it wasn't quite finished. And so I pulled that out of the archives for this one. And so it kind of started there. And then I wrote another whole group of songs around sort of a hideous breakup. And but that was a number of years ago. And I sort of pulled all those back thinking, I've got enough material for a record. And then I went and listened to them and I'm like, oh my God, A, I don't want anybody to hear these. And B, I don't want to give it any energy.
Right.
So
Yeah.
then I had to go, okay, now I've really only got about 6 songs. But getting back into the studio and all that creativity, and it was just such an amazing time with Tony Berg and Will McLachlan that got the creative juices flowing, and it was kind of easy to finish some other ideas and also write a couple new ones.
Do you have a home studio, or do you?
I do.
Or do you actually travel to a regular old studio? Or
Well, we recorded most of this at Sound City in Los Angeles because that's where Tony and Will are, and that's where all their musicians are. But I did some of the vocals at my studio at home in Vancouver.
yeah.
What's the vibe for this album then for people who haven't heard it yet?
Well, it's a bit of an emotional roller coaster, and it's sort of postcards of various times in my life over the last 14 years, coming out of divorce. So there's a lot of reclamation of self, picking up the pieces and figuring out who you are now and how to rebuild. But there's a lot of hope in there too, finding love again. I write from a really emotional point of view. I write about what my challenges in my life, and writing is sort of a process. It's like therapy for me. It's very cathartic. So there's definitely, sort of pictures of where I was emotionally at different times, and also looking at the world now as a woman. What's my place in it as a mother, as a humanitarian, as a musician. There's a lot of crazy things going on, and I sort of felt like I don't know what my place is in it. So some of the songs were sort of touching on, okay, as a woman, I need to talk about women's rights. Mm-hmm. And I've never been political in my music, but I felt like at this time in the world, we need to not be complacent, and we need to stand up for the things that we believe in and speak out and use the platforms that we have to do so. So One in a Long Line is an example of that on the new record, which is basically about the erosion of women's rights, not only in America, but all over the world. And also just, how I feel about it, how I feel as I said, as a woman, as a mother, thinking about my 2 young daughters who are coming into the world and what it's going to be like for them, and all the work that our mothers and mothers before them did to create the groundwork and the foundation that we kind of took for granted up until very recently when Roe v. Wade got overturned a couple years ago. And we're just sort of watching things unravel. And I don't know, it's upsetting and frustrating and scary. And those are feelings that I need to process. And so songs like One in a Long Line came because of that.
I think just your honesty and sharing your personal stories through your music is why we connect so much to your music. You're finding your way just like the rest of us.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, life is messy. At 57 years old, we don't get here unscathed. I've lost 2 parents to a ugly battle with cancer. I lost my brother to cancer. I went through a painful divorce. And as I said, I have 2 small kids at that time. It's like you have to pick up the pieces and figure out who you are and how to rebuild.
Now, in addition to this brand new album, you're going to be going on tour, right? To back this album.
I'm redoing the Fumbling Towards Ecstasy 30th anniversary tour, which by now is probably almost a 32nd anniversary tour. But I was supposed to do that in Canada last year, then I got sick and lost my voice. So over the winter, I had to go on vocal rest and rehab my voice. But it's back and it's good now. But that was a bit of a lumpy winter for me, thinking, I might not ever be able to sing again.
Right.
Which is kind of my purpose, I feel like. So
What kind of treatment did you have to do to get your voice back in shape?
I just couldn't talk for 3 months.
Did you have to really?
It was really hard.
So it was just about vocal rest, not
It was
like
complete vocal rest.
honey or tea or all that. Like
Yeah, all that stuff. But really, my vocal cords were damaged, so I had to see if I could just get them back to a healthy place, and then start doing all the rehab for it, vocal rehab, and.
That's scary when you don't know if it's going to come back.
Yeah, it's my job.
Yeah,
Right. But
right.
it's not only my job; it's sort of I feel like it's my purpose. This is the gift that I've been given, and it's how I sort of feel purposeful in my life. So to think that I might not have that, especially after thankfully I'd done most of the vocals for the record before that. And I love this record so much, and I'm so proud of it. And for me, singing live is like the cherry on top, right? It's the culmination of all the work and the sort of isolation of an artist. And then when you release it to the world, it becomes everybody's. And there's this beautiful connection and energy that happens. And playing live is that sort of, as I said, that culmination of that, like being part of something bigger than yourself and sharing it with everybody. So yeah, to think that I might not have been able to do that anymore was really tough. But positive attitude. I was just like, you know what, you're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. And I'm fine, which is great. So it all worked out.
It's incredibly inspiring too.
Yeah.
So thank you. So
My pleasure.
you're going to be coming to New York. I know I'm putting you on the spot, but you must be coming to New York at some point.
Yeah, I think
hope.
I'm playing the Beacon Theater, which is
There you
super
go.
cool. I
I
think
love that one, yeah.
later in November, I believe.
So album, tour, and there's a documentary, Little Affair, Building a Mystery.
Yeah.
It premieres on Hulu September 21st. And do you remember doing Girls Rule the Yule? Back in 1996, it was
That
a
sounds vaguely
Z100
familiar.
Jingle Ball concert.
Yeah.
And it was you and Gwen Stefani and Paula Cole and a bunch of female artists. And I feel like, that was the beginning of like the Little Affair days almost.
That was what, 97?
Was it 96, actually? December 96.
Okay, well, yeah, I just remember all these women were coming up in a AAA radio, adult alternative. Like there were all these new formats that were really propelling all these women to great heights
Right.
within their genres. And
This documentary will sum up all of how that built that Little Affair, how it just blew up, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, there were these attitudes back then that you couldn't play two women back to back on the radio.
Those
Yep.
days are long gone.
I
Yeah.
mean, women are dominating the radio now. It's
Right,
great.
right.
But yeah, that was the prevailing attitude, and the same thing that women couldn't play. You couldn't put two women on a bill together; people wouldn't come, and which just seemed asinine to me. Obviously, I'd already been doing it and
Right.
succeeding. So, and I was young and green and didn't know any better. I'm like, well, we're just going to do this, and we did, and it was this massive success. And
And this documentary will cover all that.
yes, absolutely. The joys, the challenges, the great music, the community that was built,
The friends you made, I'm
the
sure.
the
Yeah.
great friends. Yeah, and I just did a premiere in Toronto at TIFF, and Paula Cole, Joan Osborne came, and it was just like, oh my God, it was so great to see them again.
Right.
It's been a bunch of years, so.
It's wonderful. Yeah,
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
saw you. We were
Yeah, we were
we
there.
were there.
Yeah.
We were hosting. Went to Lily Fair. Loved all of it. So we can't wait for the
Awesome.
documentary.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
It's a really, and for me to sit in the audience is like, I know that's me up on screen, and I know I was part of that, but to have it put together in such a succinct way, this is 3 years of my life, and to have it, put into 90 minutes, but really get all the moments, all the challenges, all the joys, all the frustrations, the fight. It was, it's a pretty beautiful gift to have.
We have a great question from a listener, and she wrote, if one of your songs could live in a time capsule, which would you choose?
That's easy.
So
Angel.
That was quick. All right, Angel.
Yeah.
And why Angel?
I just think that song, above and beyond any of my other material, is a song that has gone out in the world, and people have taken it and brought it into their own lives and into their own challenges and hard times. And I think for me, what's so beautiful is so many stories coming back to me saying, this song really helped me through a really hard time in my life. And that song, more than ever, has done that for people. And I don't know, it's amazing validation as an artist and as a human to think that you've created something that has gone out into the world and helped in some small way, help people, either lift them or help them through challenging times. I mean, that's a great gift.
Yeah, music saves the day
really
every
does.
time.
Yeah.
Beautiful songs like that.
It sure does.
How did that song find its way to the animals or vice versa?
So I had a friend who was on the she was on the board of the BC SPCA where I live in British Columbia, and they were mulling around this idea of having a celebrity endorsement. And she goes, "Well, I know Sarah. Why don't I ask her?" And I was off at the time, and of course I love animals. So it was actually that simple. I was like, "Well, sure, I'll do this." Like I lent my name to a ton of different charity organizations over the years and did a ton of charity benefit concerts and things like that. Because again, it's like I want to use this platform for something good, and if I can, spread good energy that way, then happy to do it. And I don't think any of us had any idea how wildly successful
Yeah.
that ad would be. I mean, I think it generated over $30 million in the first year for the ASPCA.
It's so
It's
great.
still on today, right? That commercial still
yeah,
airs.
it is.
Yeah.
I actually sent a cease and desist at one point because
Are you kidding? Even you were tired of it?
I did this food bank benefit concert in New York City, and they said, "Can you please not play Angel because it's too synonymous with this other charity?" And I'm like, "Oh, okay. If there's that much brand confusion, it's time for me to for me to reclaim. It's my song, and I know that everybody wants to hear it." So yeah, I was like, "Hey, maybe, I think it's done its job, but can we?
But it
can I
hits a
have
hit.
that back now?" But it's a franchise, right? So there's, it's going to be shown everywhere, and it is.
Right.
There's not much I can do about it. So, and
Well,
it's still
again,
helping animals. So
It really
Yes.
is.
it's really not a bad
We're
thing.
helping animals
Exactly.
right now as you speak. Just talking about
That's
it.
true.
Sarah, we can't thank you enough. Again, the new album, Better Broken, get it today. And for all things Sarah McLachlan, where can they go?
SarahMcLachlan.com.
All right.
That's a good place to start.
And do you go towards Instagram more or X, or do you?
Me personally,
Yeah.
I try and stay away from all social
'Cause I
media.
do follow you on
know,
Instagram.
I know I have to feed the beast every once in a
Yeah,
while.
yeah.
But I'm not. I don't actually like. Not really on it. I mean, every
Every now and then?
once in a while. I mean, honestly, I follow like dancing goats and surfing videos. So
I get it.
I get it. Yeah.
I just
exactly.
want some good news, So some
Absolutely.
lighthearted good news.
But you're covered there just in case you want tour info and album info.
Oh, for
which
sure.
are-
website.
Instagram,
Yeah.
Twitter, whatever,
It's
whatever that's called.
Whatever you want to
now,
call
yeah.
it today. Yes.
TikTok. Yeah.
Sarah, thank you very much.
So good to see you. Thank you.
Thanks.
106.7 Lights FM.